Will Goldstein here, thekingscourt.com. Again, there's a chance to subscribe down there by hitting that little button. You know, those of you who watch these videos, you know, I'm a musician, so you can always check out my music. There's a lot of links at the main channel page to everything about my music. You can check it out there, songbooks, listen to music, whatever. This is, again, C.S. Lewis's book, Screwtape Letters, and I'm on number 7. You know, sometimes there's more than one topic, really, in each one of those small little chapters, but I think the main concept in this one is Patriot or Pacifist. So remember, this guy's off to war. It starts off by Screwtape saying to Wormwood, "It is essential to keep the patient ignorant of your existence." So the demons don't want humans to know that they really even exist. It's better off if they think that they don't exist. Our policy for the moment is to conceal ourselves. We are faced with the dilemma: when humans disbelieve in our existence, we lose the results of terrorism and make no magicians. When they believe in us, we cannot make them materialists and skeptics. So again, they've got a dilemma there. If the humans don't think that the demons exist, then terror is not part of the equation, because then they can't be afraid of the demons. And also, if they don't think that the demons exist, then they can't really make magicians, because then where's the spiritual force that the magicians are appealing to? For example, in witchcraft or something like that. On the other hand, if they do believe in the demons, then the whole idea behind materialism and skeptics is that the spirit world doesn't exist. It's all materialism. There is no soul. So they're kind of faced, the demons, with that dilemma: which card to play in which circumstance. I have great hopes that we shall emotionalize and mythologize their science to a belief in us, though not under that name, because the human mind must be closed to the belief in the enemy. So in other words, if they believe in a spirit world, well, then they believe in demons, well, then they believe in angels, and they believe in God. And so they can't have it both ways. So then the option that this demon is coming up with is the life force. You can't help but think of Star Wars. So maybe this is where he got it. Psychoanalysis, these terms proves very useful for us. If we can produce the materialist magician, so notice how he puts those two words together, the materialist magician, worshiping forces while denying the existence of spirits, then the end of the war will be in sight. In other words, keep them materialist, and then when you think of forces, you might also think of pantheism, or somebody like Spinoza or something like that. You know, there's a force, or even somebody like, that's why they say Einstein's God was Spinoza's God. You know, that's the God that Einstein believed in. It was a force, a power, not a anthropomorphic God. That's the idea that they're getting to here. You know, keep the patient in the dark. The fact that devils are comic, that will really help you. If any faint suspicion of your existence, the demon's existence, enters into his mind, suggest a picture of something in red tights. Definite comedy in here, okay? Since he can't believe in that, therefore he can't believe in us. So the idea is the spirit world, nonsense. Whether we have him a patriot or a pacifist, it doesn't matter. All extremes, except of course devotion to the enemy, which is God for the demons, are to be encouraged. So all extremes encouraged. Some ages are, and when they say ages, he means periods of time, are lukewarm and commonplace. It is our business to soothe them and put them to sleep. They're all just complacent. They don't really care. In the demon's mind, they're just going to hell anyway, so just let them go to sleep and then go to hell. That's his attitude. And other ages are prone to faction. It is our business to inflame them. So if there's factions and there's divisions in this side and this side, then their business is to cause war and to cause them to hate one another. Just like what's going on in, say, Syria today, in Israel, say, or the Russians in the Ukraine and all that, the factions. Factions are everywhere. So any small faction bound together by some interest tends inside to admiration. So towards themselves. We're in the clique. We're in the coterie, whatever it is. We're inside this small little clique. And so they're proudful about their existence. But to the outer world, there's pride within, but then there's hatred to the outer world because they're out of their sphere of influence. So join the club, and if not, well, we despise you. That's the attitude that they're trying to create. So they win either way, either pride or hatred. So we want the church to be small so that fewer men may know the enemy. So the enemy, again, is God, according to them. But also those who do may acquire the self-righteousness of a secret society or a clique. Again, the in crowd. Even within a church, you might see small little sects where you're kind of like in the upper echelons of the church or not. Of course, churches are not supposed to be that way. Churches are supposed to be the famous politician kneels next to the beggar. Okay, they're all one in terms of the eyes of God. The church is heavily defended. We have never yet succeeded in giving her characteristics of a faction, but subordinate factions within often produce admirable results. I just talked about that. You see a lot of churches that are actually folding and splitting because of factions, and that's the devil's work within that church. If your patient can be induced to become a conscientious objector, a small, unpopular society, the effects will be good. It's unpopular is that people might look at him as a coward. He doesn't want to go off to war. For example, in Israel, there's a lot of tension over people in the Orthodox Church who don't, the typical Israeli citizen, male and female, I think they go in for like 2 years at least. And so, but the Orthodox are exempt from going in to do this, and there's a lot of people in Israel that are very upset about that. They're not doing their share. They're conscientious objectors on their home studying the Torah. So there's a lot of friction in Israel over that very thing. Has he any doubts about the lawfulness of serving in a just war? Is he a man of courage? Does he have misgivings about the real motives of pacifism? So these are all things that the demon is supposed to find out about this person. When it comes to honesty, no humans are ever very near honest. Does he desire to obey the enemy? So in other words, Screwtape is asking Wormwood, who's in charge of this potential soldier, where his mindset is, what's his bent, what is he leaning towards. And if he is that sort of man, meaning very connected to God, the enemy will probably protect him. So then he says, your best plan is to attempt confused emotional crisis to convert him to patriotism. You can see sometimes when somebody starts going crazy from all the tension and the anxiety, especially in war, they're likely to just run out with their guns and get mowed down and die, because they've just lost it. You see that even in movies and everything. Whichever he adopts, the main task is the same. Let him treat patriotism or pacifism as his religion. Notice they're saying, not God, okay? The religion is all about their patriotism or their pacifism, shifting from God to making something other than God their religion. Make the religion part of the cause, in which Christianity is only valued with its arguments in favor of, for example, the war effort or of pacifism. You want to guard against temporal affairs that are treated as material for obedience. Use Christianity for the concepts that have come out of Christianity regarding war. For example, like Augustine wrote a whole treatise on justification for war. So use it for that, but not to worship God. Make the world an end and faith a means. Provided that movements, causes, and crusades matter more than prayers and sacraments and charity, he is ours. The more religious, the better. If they've convinced the person to make their religion based on the movements, the cause, the crusade that they're fighting for, and not about praying to God and their relationship to God and the charity that they're doing and the sacraments that they take, communion, for example, Holy Communion, well then if it's all about the causes and it's not really about God, well then that's all the better for the demon.